Happy St. Patty's Day, Crimson Tide fans. And if you want Alabama to get a little bit lucky on the recruiting trail this summer, go ahead and drop a like on today's video for me. The more likes we get, the more luck Alabama gets here. So help me out, help Alabama out, and drop a like on today's video. We're going to talk some recruiting on today's show. We're going to start off here with Ethan Boobie Feaster. If you guys love boobies, go ahead and drop a like on today's video as well. Had to get that one in there. Look, Boobie Feaster, he visited Alabama for an unofficial visit a couple of weeks ago, back on March 7th. Kalen DeBoer, he talked about with Bama Online on 3, kind of how that visit went there. Kalen DeBoer really complimented him a lot on, just his ability to block, and even mentioned that, Alabama last year had some wide receivers who could block, who sometimes may or may not have chosen not to necessarily go all out in the blocking aspect there. Of course, you want guys at the receiver spot to go out there and make a lot of plays, but blocking is just one of those little things, fundamental things that you have to be able to do if you want to be at Alabama as a wide receiver. And he also talked about, the pace of practice. There weren't a lot of guys walking around, if anybody walking around. Everybody had a little bit of pep to their step there. That's what a lot of these guys are doing right now in these unofficial visits. They're just going in there. They're, watching practice, just trying to feel things out, see if that would be, the kind of place that they would like to be. He even talked about his relationship with Keelan Russell. They have a Texas connection there. He's also got a couple official visits scheduled for this summer as well. Alabama right now does not have an official visit scheduled, but he did tell On 3 that he does plan on returning to Tuscaloosa for an official visit. We just don't know quite when that is going to be yet. Chad Simmons and Steve Wilfong of On 3 also have placed official predictions. They placed this one yesterday for Boobie Feaster to go to LSU. So we'll see what happens in his commitment there. Alabama did offer him a little bit late in the process. They offered him in late January. We're sitting here mid-March right now, so they haven't really, had a lot of time to build this relationship and connection with Boobie Feaster so far. So they've got a lot of catching up to do. LSU, Texas A&M, and USC are really right now some of those top schools vying for Boobie Feaster right now, and he does have a couple spring visits to get to as well. He was at LSU last week. He'll be at Texas on March 29th, and then he has also got an unofficial visit scheduled with Oregon going to that April 25th time frame. So let me know here in the comments section, what % chance will Boobie Feaster commit to Alabama? It's the pinned comment of today's video. You guys just scale it 1 to 100 for me. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your best prediction here in the comment section for me right now. All right, we're going to talk about some more visits. Coming up here this week, Alabama is set to host 14 recruits this week. Now, remember, all of these are unofficial visits right now. The official visits don't really begin until May. In Alabama, already currently right now, I've seen both on 3 and the Bama 247. Over 40 official visits have already been scheduled so far for Alabama coming up here in the coming months. We're going to talk about a couple guys visiting this week, though. We're not going to touch on all 14 guys. You can go read about them over on Bama Online or Bama 247. We're going to start off with these two guys right here, though. Jamarion Matthews and Caden Hall. Both of those guys are going to be visiting. They're going to be on campus on March 18th, so that's going to be on Tuesday when Alabama gets back to practice there. Matthews also has an official visit scheduled for Alabama on June 6th. Hall has an official visit scheduled on June 13th. So Jamarion Matthews committed, I believe it was sometime mid-February to Alabama, 4-star edge rusher. Look, Alabama wants to go after 3 to 5 guys along the defensive line right now. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jamarion Matthews, they want him at that bandit spot, but Caden Hall, also another guy that they're going after right now. He is the number 12 safety according to the 247 Sports Composite rankings, but Alabama right now going after him at that linebacker position. So right now he's already 6'3", 195 pounds. You put a little bit more weight on him in his senior season, then you also can get some more weight on him once he gets in to your strength and conditioning program. But those two guys will be on campus in Tuscaloosa on Tuesday. Now, make sure you guys go over to Fanatics and get some Alabama hoodies and Alabama gear for yourself. Just go over to chatsports.com/Bama hoodies. They've got a lot of stuff. We got some updated photos here for you guys. They've got some camos. They've got quarter zips. They've got things for men. They've got things for women on there. So get all your Alabama gear. Man, they've got hoodies. They've got quarter zips. They've got crew necks. They've got Alabama hats. Anything you want, they've got over there on Fanatics. Just go over to chatsports.com/Bama hoodie. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Just go over to chatsports.com/Bama hoodie and get up to 30% off. They got some pretty solid deals right now. So if you need some Alabama gear, I highly encourage you guys to get over there and get your Alabama gear. All right, two more guys. The rest of the guys we're going to talk about today are all going to be visiting here on March 22nd. So still this week, but a little bit later in the week. Chris Booker, Alabama's lone offensive line commit right now. He also committed just, a couple of weeks ago. He really, he was very, very low ranked. I think when he originally committed, he was completely unranked, but on the overall rankings, but was in that 25, 24, somewhere around their position rankings in terms of the interior offensive line. And then you have Sam Utu as well. He is a 4-star interior offensive lineman as well, number 22 out of the state of California there. Like I said, both those guys are going to be visiting on March 22nd. Andrew Bone also reported that Alabama is only expected to add one more interior offensive lineman to this class. So I do think that is very, very notable there. Obviously, you already have Chris Booker, but Alabama looking to get one more guy in the fold there in that 2026 recruiting class. This will be Sam Utu's first visit to Tuscaloosa, so we'll see what comes out of it there. He also raved about his relationship with Courtney Morgan, really said, Courtney Morgan was his guy, so Courtney Morgan's background, offensive line as well, so that definitely helps Alabama there. Utu does have an official visit scheduled to Tuscaloosa on June 6th. Some of the other officials that he has scheduled there are SMU, USC, and Texas this summer. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated on him. But Alabama already has Chris Booker right now along the interior of the offensive line. According to Andrew Bone and On3, they're looking to get at least one, or they're looking to get only one more guy at that spot. Now, Alabama is going dancing in the NCAA tournament. They are going to play Robert Morris, 11:40 a.m. Central Time, coming up here on Friday, and we will be live for that for an Alabama watch party. So do not miss out on that. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're going to have a whole lot of fun, see how far Alabama gets. This is definitely an Elite Eight, Final Four type team. Hopefully they can get that far, so do not miss out. We are going to be live. As long as Alabama goes in the tournament, we will be live for every single game. So do not miss out. Make sure you guys hit that sub button. Come join us for our Alabama basketball watch parties. All right, the next two guys I want to talk about, you got Elijah Golden, 4-star defensive lineman, and Corey Barber, number 44 wide receiver in this class. I think, going into his senior season, he's going to shoot up those recruiting rankings there. We've talked about it before. Alabama wants to add anywhere from 3 to 5 defensive linemen in this class. We already talked about Jamarion Matthews. Add him as just one guy. They still want to get multiple other guys in there as well. Golden has 2 more visits scheduled after this one, both on April 4th and an official visit scheduled for June 13th. Alabama also, they offered him in late January. So, I think him having multiple visits, 3 visits here, in just a couple of months, couple of weeks really, is a very good sign considering, they were kind of late getting an offer to him, relative to, they didn't offer him, a year early like some of these kids are doing. But, that's expected when you're going through a coaching transition like Alabama is. In terms of Corey Barber, look, I was really impressed with this kid back, a couple of months ago when Alabama offered him, went back, watched his film, and, man, this kid is fast. He's really good, and he was unranked when Alabama first offered him, but now up inside that top 300, only about a month later. He's a very speedy guy. He's bigger than a guy like Latsier Brooks, but I do think, going into this Alabama offense, I do think they fill kind of the same role. So we'll see what happens with Corey Barber and Elijah Golden, but 2 guys that Alabama would definitely love to get in this 2026 class. So let me know before we get out of here, guys, who is your must-get player in this 2026 recruiting cycle? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of today's show.